So, it's this guy's fault that I did all
Totally not my fault.
desert racing stuff.
Tim brought me into the sport.
No.
I'm Kelsey, that's Tim, and this is our rolling home Dusty. We hit the road full-time a few years ago to follow our dreams of driving around the world, and we headed south.
We did it.
COVID brought us back to the States, but there is plenty of adventure to be had here while we wait out the pandemic. So come along and enjoy this crazy ride we call life. Welcome back. If you have been following along, you will know that we are making our way down from a snowy, cold Alaska all the way to sunny Baja. In the last episode, we made a quick stop at the Land Cruiser Heritage Museum in Salt Lake City, Utah, and after that, it was back on the road because we had a date with a race car to get to.
So you may be wondering, why race all the way down to Baja and skip so much in the United States? Tacos, the beach,
Yes.
those are definitely factors.
Warm weather.
And the third is my buddy Brent.
Mm-hmm.
The background on him is I moved out to Arizona for college from California. Knew less than nothing. I'd put a couple lift kits on trucks before, but that's the extent of my mechanical knowledge. And I was getting a finance and accounting degree, and I hated it. And so every chance I got, and then I even got a job working there, I worked at this guy's fab shop, and he would build race cars and all kinds of stuff. And then over the course of a summer, and I say we, I was like helping him, he's the real fabricator, would take tubing from the wall, we turned it into a tube chassis race car. We took old people's tires from their old used
Senior
up tires.
citizens' tires.
We would take tires from teams who consider them worn out, and we'd use those. We had a lot of hand-me-down parts.
Yeah.
And we built this race car, and we went and raced the Baja 500, and we raced all over Baja, Sonora, Mexico, Arizona. We won a lot of races, season championship, all that kind of stuff. It was like a cool 6 or 7 years of my life. And then every 3 or 4 years, I go and race one of his cars or race with him. And but it was really neat. And he's always, all the work we've done on every truck, Tonto, Goose, Dusty, we pretty much do at his house.
Yep.
Because he's always let us have access to it's like a full commercial fabrication shop at his house now.
And his knowledge is helpful.
Super, super helpful. And then, he's always been so generous to both of us to let us, use all of his stuff. And so he built a race car, and he's racing it for the first time. And this is like the first race car he's built for himself since we built that 2-seat race car that we both drove in all these races, and then I also navigated a bunch. So we're going down there because this is his first race in the new car, first real race. He did a shakedown.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to be there to help him try and get across the finish line, and anything we can do to help.
Yeah.
But also tacos and beach. But
Yes.
third reason is, a buddy that's turned into a lifelong best friend that I met 20 years ago and got us into a lot of this exploring and the racing side of things and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So sounds good to be around some good friends and
Yeah.
nice weather. But
Yep.
pretty excited for the food also.
Yeah. Can't wait. First fish taco is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Or carne asada. Can't go wrong.
And it'll be Dusty's first time in Mexico.
It's true.
All right. Well, we'll show you our drive down there, I guess.
Yep.
See where we see you next.
See where we see you. See you at the border.
Quick note before we get to Ensenada. Let me just say that it is extremely difficult to film these races while also playing chase truck. So I apologize if this episode feels a bit disjointed. We did the best we could. Also, all the shots I got of the car are in speed zones, so no cool fast race car shots this time. I promise they do drive much faster. Alright, back to the story. Well, we made it to Ensenada. We caught up with our friends, even did a little touristing. Ate at one of my favorite places in Ensenada, which Tim has been going to for 20 years. It's delicious and the burritos are huge. We had a team meeting, and the car went through tech inspection. The next morning was race day, so we were all off to the start line. This is where the start line is, or at least it's as close as I was going to get to the start line. With COVID, things get complicated.
Do some filming up here or something?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Like this?
Just like that. So, it's this guy's fault that I did all
Totally not my fault.
desert racing stuff.
Tim brought me into the sport.
No. And I haven't ridden with him in like 20 years almost. Like a good 17 years, I think, huh?
It's been a while.
Yeah. So, famous last words.
There they go.
There we go. Oh boy.
We said goodbye to the guys and headed up the road a bit to where we would see them as they hit dirt for the first time. So this race is called the Norra 500. It is a little different than the Baja 500 or 1000. Biggest differences are that this race has stages, so you don't have to be up for like 72 hours straight. And after you hit a checkpoint, you have some time. This means none of the stressful pits. You can fix any issues, drivers have time to get out, use the restroom, eat something, etc. It makes racing a little more enjoyable, although not quite as epic. But you can't have everything. As we caught sight of the car, it was clear something was wrong.
They can't leave the line until 11:04.
Okay.
11:04.
Then they have a 30-minute window
Okay.
where you can go.
Okay.
So you have
Okay.
34 minutes from right now.
Okay. Cool. You want to back up and go over the truck? So they're coming over. Okay. Cool. Kelsey, are we clear behind if we pull over?
Yep.
Turns out there was a charging issue. Luckily, we had a great team of very handy people, and within no time, they were ready to go. After that, we all raced up to this spot where we could easily access the race course, just in case they needed anything. But they were doing good and too fast for us to see them even pass by.
All right, it is 12:30, and The guys have made it past this point, so they're at race mile 35 right now, and they have a charging problem, so we'll see how they do. We won't see them for a little bit now, so either we will need to go in and bring them some things wherever they find themselves, or they'll make it to the next point and hopefully we'll have a battery to swap out for them. But so far they're moving, but they do have an issue, and we're just hanging out. Gonna go to the next pit pretty soon here and wait and see what we hear from them. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay, I haven't been filming too much because I'm driving and that takes full concentration down here. But we are at the next pit, just waiting to hopefully hear from them soon. They're up in the mountains, so I don't think we'll hear from them while they're up there. But once they get within radio reach, we should hear from them. Got the radios on, waiting to hear, and should see them
304, 304.
hopefully in an hour or two. But that's what we're up to. I'll show you where we're waiting now.
304. What was that message?
We got the radio and the race cars going by.
Right here in the...
Starting to sprinkle a little bit, and it looks like where the boys are at up in the mountains, they're probably getting wet right now.
At this bit, Tim hopped out of the car and Colin, Brent's son, hopped in to take over as co-driver, and we followed along, catching them wherever we could as we all headed for the finish line.
Colin, can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Give us some mile markers every once in a while, please. Not a problem. You're also, just to let your dad know, you've got 2 hours to sunset, and you've got approximately 50 miles to the finish area. Copy that. All right, we're clear. We're following you.
They did it. They had completed day one. It had been a good day. We loaded up the car and headed back to the house to get some food, prep the truck for tomorrow's leg of the race, and try to get some sleep. In the morning, the start line for day 2 was here, just south of Ensenada.
Good morning, everybody. We are at the Norra 500. You can see the race car back there. Tim's going to be in it the whole day. He'll be co-driving for the first part, I think 200 miles, and then driving for the last 100. I'll be in Dusty playing chase truck. That's the update for now. Baja's been good so far.
With the car off, Dusty and I and half the team headed to the other side of the peninsula to pit over there, while the other half of the team headed south to pit over here. For us, it was a long drive, and getting through Ensenada can be a bit chaotic, but we made it with plenty of time to hurry up and wait then wait some more. We had no service or radio connection down here, so we weren't exactly sure when they would arrive, but eventually they did.
Five minutes later.
At this pit, Tim got to hop in the driver's seat, which is what he loves doing, so I was excited for him. Colin was his co-driver, and as they took off, so did we. We would need to hustle to make sure we were at the next pit, which I missed getting a shot of them as they went past. But they were making good time, and the car was holding up. So up the road we all went. We stood by if they needed anything, but they were good and kept rolling. They were so close and in the lead. We all crossed our fingers and toes, hoping Little Miss Sunshine, the car, would make it. They did it. They even won first in their class. Not a bad way to end the day. We all waded up the hill from the finish line to celebrate and loaded the car back up. It had been a long day, especially for the guys in the car.
You did it!
Now it was time to wind down, get some food, have a few beers, and relive all the action of the last 2 days. What a great team to be a part of. This race was a lot of fun. It had a good community feel to it. So many people out here not taking themselves too seriously and just having a good time. We made a lot of good memories at this one. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Join us next week as we relax and visit some Baja hot springs. We'll see you then.